What's up guys, my name is Rajeev Kugan. I'm gonna walk you through a few reasons why I feel like the iPhone X could be a Super Saiyan, but also be in the midst of being a rare Pokemon. Now, the iPhone X was the most anticipated phone of 2017. Yes, there was the S8, yes, there was a Note 8, beautiful phones, but at the end of the day, the biggest news on the internet was the iPhone X. Now, the question is, did it live up to its expectations? And is it gonna see through 2018? Now, you've probably seen 100 reviews, so I'm not gonna go through a spec sheet. I'm not gonna walk you through different features. I wanna focus on a few points that kind of dictate why this phone had the potential of being a Super Saiyan. And we'll go back to why I keep calling it a Super Saiyan. And also reasons why this actually could have failed. It didn't fail yet, but could have failed in the market. Now, before we move forward, if you have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to Super Saiyan, which is from Dragon Ball Z, I'm sure you know Pokemon. I know you know that. I know you play Pokemon Go, so let's just carve that out. We're good with that. You may need to pause this video, check it out, learn about it, and come back. But I'll give you a quick Coles Notes of what the actual evolution is. So Super Saiyan is kind of like a form factor. It's an achievement, being able to evolve to the next level. In this case, technically speaking, it will be a 2.0 that I feel like that iPhone has actually finally achieved. It's pretty simple. I feel like that Apple finally shifted from their comfort zone to something drastically different from their predecessors, which is why I feel like they actually have an opportunity here to be at the forefront. Now, in my books, I would call it a new form of standardization. Just like, in 2016 when they announced that they're gonna take out the headphone jacks and everyone had a pushback, even I did some hate tweets, but at the end of the day, they set a standard, they said this is how it's gonna be, and now look where we are. And now in 2017, it was the era of a full glass, beautiful screen, phones, bezel-less. There was a few Android flagships already that kind of coined that spectrum of saying, we're the first to do it, like the S8. The thing is, the other devices actually had a backup plan. They kept the fingerprint sensor, they kept the buttons, it was just different areas to compensate for taking it away from the front. Unlike this guy over here, he actually decided, nope, we're gonna take all the buttons out. Keep the power buttons, keep the volume buttons. Other than that, it's out. It was kind of a ballsy move because even though the technology wasn't new, Apple's the one who actually revolutionized the fingerprint sensor sign-on, right? The Touch ID. So for them to take that out and say, we're gonna replace that tech and beat it with something called Face ID, I don't know. They definitely like to stir up the pot, but hey, you know what? Let's get into it. I'm gonna kind of break it down. So I have 3 points I just wanna quickly go over to why I feel like the iPhone X is a Super Saiyan. First up is the Face ID. I have to say it. I was skeptical about it, but they did it. They did a good job, man. It's definitely a major win. The technology they put into these sensors, hands off, amazing. Getting this day one and just having that actual experience of being able to switch over from my iPhone 7 and going through the different steps and realizing that, hey, I'm using my face to actually unlock the device, to sign into all my apps, to authenticate all my credentials, and to simply just, access my phone. Yes, I said this video isn't before. I am still not a fan of the fact that I have to look at it, wait for it, and then swipe up to unlock. I don't think that's an actual good user experience, especially when I compare it to the Face Unlock by OnePlus 5T. The security is questionable compared to iPhone X, I'll give it that, but the actual speed to unlock cannot be beat. And that's, at the end of the day, the fingerprint was super fast. You might want to actually mimic that, right? I feel like Apple should go ahead and give that as an option to the user so they can go ahead and be like, all right, I want to be able to just unlock my device, bypass the little unlock icon and go straight into the apps. I can give you a guarantee that 95% of the time, this device unlocks perfectly fine. It's not typical, it's different, and that's why I feel like there's people, may feel like it's not ready yet, but to be honest, I have no issues with it. I'll give it a thumbs up. And also a side note, if you're an actual heavy Apple Pay user, be prepared in a drive-through to pull up, put it in front of you, and try authenticating the actual pay. And it's not that because it doesn't work, it's just how frustrated the actual people get when they're looking at you and they think you're like taking a selfie or something, but at the end of the day, you're actually trying to authenticate the payment. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that. Point number 2, the camera. It's beautiful. It's actually really, really beautiful. Previous reviews, I actually compared it to saying it's one of the best cameras out there. I'm more of a fan of the actual Pixel 2 XL. It does output a better, I guess, a software generated image compared to the iPhone X, especially when you compare to the half-baked portrait mode, especially the studio ones. They do not make it to the finish line. That's half the reason why I even got this phone, because you get a dual lens camera. The whole point is to create that depth of field, to give you that bokeh, to give you that actual beautiful look as if you're using a DSLR. It works in beautiful lighting. When it doesn't work, you actually get a huge disappointment. And I actually wonder how Apple can get away with that, how they can actually release a device, put it up here, but put subpar actual camera features and expect people to just go with the flow. Now, for all the slow-mo junkies, it's actually beautiful. The 4K can top up at 60 frames per second, and the 1080p can go to 240 frames per second. That is beautiful. Now, if you're looking at this device just for the camera, the iPhone 8 Plus actually packs the same tech. So now you're paying for aesthetics, the awe of having the X, and maybe a rare commodity. Now, point number 3, I would like to call it the premium emotion. What does that mean? Technically, I would say in 2017, this is probably the only device that I could actually hold and say it actually feels like $1,000. One perfect example is like the wireless charging. Wasn't a huge fan of it, really didn't care about it, but once I got it for my Samsung, I realized that it's actually convenient. Now, the fact that I can actually put my iPhone X on top of the same device, more convenient. And here's the cool thing, my premium emotion tagline doesn't actually stop at the aesthetics. It actually moves right into the iOS. It's not the same, it can't be the same. They actually took a few features from one of my favorite devices, coupled it with a few other changes to make this an actual iOS for the iPhone X. When the BlackBerry 10 was launched, codenamed BBX, we have no idea how excited it was, especially because it was, buttonless gestures that was implemented into the device. That was actually put into this in their own way, obviously, but it was actually implemented in here for users to have the same type of experience. And that kind of sold me on it. These type of gestures actually speed up the multitasking. I'm able to swipe through different apps, jump back and forth by simple quick gestures. And that's kind of actually brings a new genre of multitasking. Unlike the Android devices, there was no dedicated recent apps drawer, right? You'd have to double click your home button to go back to the actual previous app or swipe through and choose a different app. Now, because the bottom area has been fully taken over by the navigational purposes, they actually had to compensate the control center and drop it from the top instead. Now it's dropped on the right, and on the left, you'll get the notification. Here's my problem. I'm left-handed. So for me, I would like the opposite. But Apple, they decide how you want to do things, and I'm not a big fan of that. You know what? Side rant. I'm not a fan of Apple for one huge reason, is because they dictate the user experiences for their customers. I'm talking about specific things like being able to customize which ways you want to actually control the way your notifications are dropped. Just a few days ago, they said that they're going to go ahead and actually enable the feature for you to make a choice as a consumer to say yes or no to throttle the actual device. That's why Apple should do more than just subsidize the actual battery cost and do a little bit more to the actual customers. Give them something that feels like, oh, you know what? We messed up. Here. All right. Sorry for the side rant. Kind of got a little emotional there. Anyways, to sum it up, it all comes down to the price point. And you guys may feel like I'm always repeating myself when it comes to phones and price points. It is because it's the truth. Why is there speculation? Why are there reports? Why are analysts saying that this actual device may not make it to the end of 2018? So a few hours later, they pretty much said, no, it's not that it's going to be discontinued, just this series itself may not exist. It could be a rare Pokemon. See, now if you really think about it, the iPhone X seems like more of an actual test device. Was a notch going to be accepted? Was Face ID the future? Was the new form factor going to be a win? I think all these were just tests. And that's why they're going to maybe scrap this one and go in and release a bigger phone, right? And that's kind of the speculation that's happening right now. Apparently, there's going to be a successor to the 8 and the 8 Plus in this form factor. And then a larger device is what's eventually going to replace this guy here. So, maybe it's time to grab an iPhone X. Maybe this is the last you ever see this device, and maybe it'll cost a lot in the future. So, even though the iPhone X has reached a new level, Super Saiyan. And if you've been following Dragon Ball Super, you know there's new levels to be reached. A crap load of new levels. I would recommend the iPhone 8 or the iPhone 8 Plus, depending on the technology you need. If you have lots of money and you want to blow it on something, iPhone X it is. I would say get it, why not? If iPhone X in the Super Saiyan world is Goku, then the A plus would be Vegeta. Now here's the thing, they're probably not gonna drop the price on this. Maybe you'll get a contract deal, but you're probably gonna get this at a premium price. So if you just wait 8 months more, might as well just get the next premium device at the same price point. Kind of makes sense, right? So yes, I'm giving you guys a green thumbs up to get it if you like it and if you really want it. What the hell, it's your money, you want to make use of it, go ahead, do it. But if you're looking at it from a real purchase, there's other choices out there. My back hurts from holding it straight. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button. You have no idea. When you hit that subscribe button, this energy like, I'm a Super Saiyan! I feel good, okay? It helps me a lot. It motivates me to keep going. I feel like I want to do more of these, so please hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram. That's where all my creative juices fall into place. If you're on Twitter and want the latest tech news, follow me on Twitter at Rajeev Kugan. If you are on Facebook, kind of like Twitter, but a little bit more comments put into place, so follow me on that as well at I am Rajeev Kugan. And lastly, that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. See you guys next time.